Welcome, everyone, to Fun in the Country Basement. I did manage to get through that after I've been gone for a couple of weeks from this show, but I'm Chris Riley. I have never streamed anything before, and I'm always brand new every time I wake up. I have been doing a lot of work on this printer, if you haven't realized, this weekend. This is the SK Go kit. It's turning out pretty well. I have a few things I need to go over still, but before we get into any of that, I'm going to let the fellas introduce themselves. Glenn, how you doing?
I'm doing well. You know, it's really funny because every time when we start one of these streams, we kind of come in like right after the intro and we're like, "Woo, we pulled it off." But I don't know if everybody out there really understands what we go through for that intro, because, like, you know, obviously some people don't use StreamYard, and those who do don't necessarily do the way that we do it. But to run our intro, the first thing is the host has to take everybody out of the room so that it's empty. Then you have to go live. Then you have to play the video, but while the video is playing, you got to put everybody back in and get them in the right spot so that when the video's done, we're all here. So it's like this, you almost need a third hand to do it. And you know, like, I know that we always make that comment of, "Whew, I pulled it off," but nobody understands what we go through to pull that off. So what I'm saying is I hope you enjoy that intro. Hello, everybody. I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and we are a father and son's channel that does 3D printing and electronic projects. Lately, all I've been doing is Christmas lights because it's that time of year. But otherwise, yeah, I'm still here, and I can be found everywhere, pretty much everywhere at Fun King 3D. And that brings us to this guy.
Oh,
excellent.
What's up, everybody? I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D. You find me everywhere at Kuntry 3D. Today, I am going to be putting the Wham Bam on my Hypercube Evo, the Country boat. And finally, and we'll talk about how I got the glue off here in just a minute, because I just finished.
And that's this guy.
That's Chris.
All right. So, yes, it has been a couple of weeks since I've been here. It has been interesting, but I should be around for the next 3 or 4 months. Hopefully, I won't be traveling again until Murph time. So that gives me quite a chunk of time to be at home and work on projects. As I said, we are working on this printer. We have kind of stopped going through the chat because it takes way too long, but we do appreciate you all being here.
Right, and if we do holler out to somebody in chat, it's not because we like them better.
Absolutely not.
It just happens. In fact, I see Paul Cumber there asking if we like the Christmas card there, Walter, and mine is actually sitting right here.
Yeah, are y'all getting? Mine is not. Mine is over on my tree. So.
Yeah, your audio level did drop from when you went out to huff that paint thinner. I mean, dump out that paint thinner.
Well, you know, paint thinner is good for the soul. Well, I was going to ask y'all, were y'all getting some echo back off of this? Because it looks like every time y'all talk, it's jacked up.
No, I don't hear any echo, but it did get a little bit muffled.
Oh,
yes.
So my plan is coming together. I mean,
see how Chris is running this show. That's kind of difficult. All right, I'm back on. Maybe we'll see.
I don't know.
I hate lavalier mics. I wish I had I need a headset. That's what I need to do. Plug the headset in. That's
headset with a boom?
Yeah, I've got one right there.
Just go straight headset.
Yeah, well, no, not with the earphones. I'm not doing that.
Hey, just so you guys know, Chris Riley's live with Fun in the Country Basement.
Is he?
Excellent.
Damn it,
So
YouTube, I didn't get a notification.
Yeah, it's my stream and I don't get a notification. So.
Why do I not have a camera?
You did just until a second ago.
Yeah.
Oh, there you're back. Oh, now you're back. Now you're back.
I guess when you click the wrong button for the camera mic and you hit the camera button, and yeah,
that'll do it.
Yeah, it does.
So, and a few of you that were watching a couple of weeks ago may remember that I had a little Easter egg going on. I do have another one today, so you might want to watch for that. It's not visible at this moment, but sometime through the stream, it will become visible.
Excellent.
So a couple of weeks ago, Chris, I wrote on the bottom of my can, "Walter is old." And so every time I took a drink, it said "Walter is old" on the bottom of my can.
Yeah, it did. Look at that.
It's good to have fun. I like to have fun.
Yep. Old Curmudgeon is trying to catch up for I think we're at like 11 hours of stream time for this build, so he's in hour 1, so he's got a ways to go.
Oh yeah, no doubt. All right, I got to get my screws in here first.
So what are you doing, Walter? You got Wham Bam for your Evo?
Yeah, I do. And I had 4 screws for it over here somewhere for my Evo, and I don't see them. Hopefully they're over here on my table, and I just forgot that I put them over here.
Gotcha.
There's one. They're black though. Yeah, I've got a Wham Bam here that not for the Kuntry bow, my printed Hypercube Evo. And I started this, I don't know, a couple weeks back, and I didn't know I couldn't get the glue off because did I lose everybody? I lost everything. There we go. So a couple weeks ago, I tried to get the glue off, but the whole PEX sheet came off and left all of the glue. It took none of the glue with it.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was the last one I was on, maybe.
I think it was. And then the past couple weeks I've played with the TiVo, but so I told everybody I had some mineral spirits at home, but I did not. But I did have a can of this. I don't know if you can read that or not. I know the sunlight's coming in my door. It's paint thinner. Now, let me tell you, I laid a napkin on here and I poured paint thinner on it, and let it set for about 30 seconds and then picked it up and it scrapes right off. And I mean, just like hot butter off. And so now I have a nice clean, well, now I got to wipe it with alcohol since I'm rubbing my hand. I don't know, they're covered in alcohol and diesel fuel.
Mitch H is asking if Jesus Walter dropped 30 years in age.
No, I did not drop 30 years in age. I have dropped a few pounds. I will tell you that. And it's good. It's very, very good. I got to find my nut bucket there. There it is.
Hey, when you lose your nut bucket.
I know, right?
Now if Walter will shave that thing off his face, he'll literally look 30 years younger.
I would, and that's why I'm not shaving it off.
I've seen pictures of Walter without a beard. It is kind of jarring when you know him to be with a beard all the time.
Right?
Well, there's very few of you that have seen pictures of me without a beard. Only the many have seen that. But yeah, it's just somewhat jarring after you're used to being bearded all the time.
You are absolutely correct. And you know, the thing is, I would shave it every now and again, but my wife actually likes it. So I leave it. I leave it for her. Pretty much. That's pretty much the only reason. And I'm hoping that these are normal 3mm. I'm hoping. I'm crossing my fingers. Oh yeah, there we go.
So in this printer firmware, so the biggest problem with this kit so far, just to get you guys up to speed, is that this one that was sent to me was kind of like the first run, and it was before he even had the manual or anything done. It was really early on, and he's just kind of a one-man army building these printers in Taiwan, and there were a few known issues, and he's since fixed all those issues, but the firmware that he has available is tailored towards all those fixes. Oh. So now I'm trying to regress back to what would fit this machine. And it's mostly just, in stops, inverting, and motor direction. But, you kind of hit them one at a time. So first it was, the stall guard wasn't working correctly. And then the in stop was set to the other side. So now I'm just kind of bumping through the different configurations to get one that works. So it's nothing huge, but definitely something that's hard to walk through while you're entertaining people on a live stream.
Yeah, right.
Because it's a whole lot of standing at the computer swearing and,
Gotta find the right size Allen key.
So my lovely friends over at 3D Fuel, Todd specifically, I had run into him and talked to him at ERF this year, and was telling him that I was looking for a yellow PLA that matched the Fun King 3D yellow PETG from IC3D. And so he was kind enough to send me a box with some samples. I have their standard PLA, their Pro PLA, and their workday PLA. But he sent these right after ERF. So like back in October, I just went to the PO box. I picked them up like just 3 days ago, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that they didn't send them back. But I told them I would take a look and see how close in color they are. They're pretty close, but I want to see how close they are. But hey, Xander, are you up here? Can I tell the world about? Or do you want to come tell the world about 3D Fuel? Heck yeah.
Did somebody say great filament?
Oh, look at you. You're even wearing a 3D Fuel shirt.
I don't have a mic.
But you can talk into mine. They can hear you.
3D Fuel has great filament, and they have a bunny as a mascot. Looks like another cartoon character, but we don't need to talk about that.
Excuse me. Go pick that up and don't throw my product around. No, that's not what I'm not asking you to promote 3D Fuel. I meant the news about 3D Fuel.
We have a sponsor.
No, you have a sponsor.
I have a sponsor.
Well, you're terrible at this. So 3D Fuel has agreed to sponsor Xander's Caliburn Nerf gun build, and they are sending him the filament to build his Caliburn. We bought the kit at ERF. And they're going to send him red and black filament so that he can build his Caliburn Nerf gun.
Sweet.
So that's his official first sponsor. Wow, this the Pro PLA is almost a dead match. Of course, their Pro PLA is like it rivals ABS. So does that really count as PLA?
Like, you mean like in cooking temperature?
I mean, this is tough stuff.
Okay.
It's not just it's not a basic cheapy PLA, which is what I was shooting for. I was looking for a low cost filament to do maker coins and stuff out of, but it is. I mean, I know that I don't have the greatest eyeballs in the world, but this is really, really close.
What so all in all, I know sponsorships and all that good stuff, but all in all, what do you think of it in general? Honestly.
Okay, well that's the only way I ever lay it down is honestly.
Well, I mean, I guess not honestly, but functionally.
Well, I haven't used it for anything that requires the durability.
Okay.
But the big fire, which is still in totes in the garage from Maker Faire, but the big fire hydrant that we did, that was Pro PLA, and that thing's pretty tough. I've dropped it a couple of times with no issues. But I still want to come up with some kind of a valid testing rig that's not over elaborate.
Yeah.
And I can't remember Parker's last name. Parker that was with us at Murph.
Who does Parker Brown?
Yeah. Doesn't seem to come to our streams anymore.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he was going to come up with a testing rig for me, and I'm not pressuring him. If it happens, it happens. If not, I understand. Life gets busy, but I don't know. I can't come up with a testing rig that's easy enough to use without spending a fortune building it.
Well, that's a proposition that's actually pretty difficult that I have found. I've thought about that as well. What would be an easy way to carry out a set of tests that didn't cost a fortune? Plus the fact that, I mean, you could, testing for yourself is one thing, but making content doing the testing, there are a handful of people that do an amazing job doing that with a very complex set of tools. So doing it as content would even be harder.
Well, Martin, 3DP Iceland Martin, he came up with a test rig that seems to work pretty well for him. And I don't know what kind of investment he's got in it, but I don't necessarily need to know how many Newton meters it took for the plastic to explode. I just want to know that if I put it under a certain amount of stress, that it'll handle it. But this stuff prints really nicely. The Pro PLA does. I haven't actually used their standard or their workday yet, but they sent me 2 test rolls of each. So we will find out. And they're sending Pro PLA for Xander's Caliburn.
Cool.
Which, if you didn't get to experience that Caliburn at ERF, that thing was pretty awesome.
No, I didn't get to check out any of the guns. Clint just mentioned that my stream looks live on YouTube. So if you're using the new YouTube live thing, you can get a key that's permanent, but you have to pick a resolution. Or you can get a one-day key. So I went through the whole, because I had problems yesterday. So I set up events, right? 2 stream events in YouTube for this weekend. I went live yesterday with my usual key, and it totally ignored that stream that I set up. So there was people waiting in that stream.
Lovely.
And I had a stream that I was actually on. So that went real well. So then last night after that, I tried to learn how YouTube actually wants you to do it in this new live control room. Well, they want you to fire it up using that key that they hand you right then, put that in OBS, and then go live. Well, going live, that makes it in a preview mode on YouTube. And then there's a go live button on YouTube.
Right.
So, well, today I didn't realize when I hit stop streaming, you have to go into that stream in YouTube or it's sitting there with no content. So now there's about Clint just mentioned it, but now there's roughly 18 minutes of no content on the end of that stream. So, or no, more than that, because I quit 15 minutes early. So there's 33 minutes of no content on the end of that stream. So,
but you can go in and cut that out, right? Right in YouTube.
After it processes and everything, you might be able to go clip the end of it off. I don't know, but it's always something, learning something with YouTube.
Right.
Well, and then they change it. Like as soon as you get used to it, 30 seconds later, they're changing it again.
Well, I only stream like once a month, so every time I start to stream, it's completely different than the last time.
And then they give you the survey. What do you think about it? Well, I think you ought to leave it alone.
And the magnet says Wham Bam, and it is on there. Now we get to get this ready. Put it on upside down. That's toward the back of the bed.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, I know, right? The magnet won't hold the other way. People don't realize that. It'll tell you on your screen that your magnet is backwards.
So it looks like out of the 3 yellows, the Pro PLA is the closest. But their yellow is still just a hair more pale than my PETG. But I am going to run a test print with this. I'm thinking that these sample spools, I don't know how much is here, 50 grams. I should be able to print a maker coin out of that. So I'll print one each of my maker coins out of these and see how it is.
Excellent.
They're all listed as daffodil yellow. So if I claim one of these, they're going to have to be willing to rename it. I can't have it called daffodil.
So I changed something during this build.
I don't think I want to show that, Tom. You're using naughty words, man. Listen, okay. Apparently you missed the whole conversation. 3D Fuel sent me these samples to see how close they were to my PETG because I told Todd that I needed a yellow PLA that was matching. So he sent me what they're currently making so that I don't necessarily have to have something custom made. And I would say that Pro PLA is close enough. Plus, it's so nice to print. Did you not get any samples of this stuff, Chris?
I have some somewhere. I've used that stuff before. I can't remember, if it was good, bad, indifferent. I don't really remember, but I do have some of them somewhere, yes.
Yeah, because when they left on Sunday, they left the sample box up there. So I ended up with I think like 6 samples of the gray as well. But yeah, it's just slightly more pale than my PETG. But definitely worth running a print.
I believe they're the ones that had that gamer green, which I think is a really cool color. I think that was them.
I don't know. Their fire engine red, which is what I did the fire hydrant out of, is a really nice red. And then, which I think I have. Oh yeah, right here. This is their red, which AIO Robotics was always my go-to red because because it's not orangey.
Yeah, I've used a lot of that over the years.
That's AIO's red there, and then this is their fire engine red. You can see it's very not orange. And then they have another one that they call it iron red, I think. That if you read their site, it says, it's very similar to a superhero type color.
I love it.
And then Todd was cool enough when he said that he was going to send those 2 rolls for Xander, that he would also include some of their snow, because they're in Fargo.
I was going to say just a box full of snow.
Yeah. Use it as packing material. Whatever.
Nice.
But he said he doesn't think it'll make it.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Chris, y'all getting some snow right now?
We are. I went up at about 1, and we had about 3 inches, and it's still coming down. So.
Yeah, I think Joe Mike actually said that they all were getting some winter storm or something. Stay inside if you didn't have to go out.
Yeah. Good thing I was streaming.
Right?
I had something to do.
I used that army green. I just can't remember what I printed with it. Paul had sent me some olive drab green at one point. In fact, oh no, that robot went to Maker Faire, so it's still in the tote. He had sent one of Xander's robots printed in that green.
Why I'm fighting that.
Bryce laying down $2. Let's get this party started and show some love.
Nice, Bryce. Thank you very much.
All right, who's going to step up? Who can beat $2? Do I hear 205?
I love it that it explains that. But anyway, so I had the largest 3D printer purchase of my life this week. If we want to talk about that.
How long did it take you to click the buy button?
A full day.
Yeah.
I had to consult Twitter first. And E3D's response was, do it 3 times. So I can't turn down a chant.
Like do it 3 times in one tweet, or was it 3 different tweets?
In one tweet.
So it would have been much funnier if they would have just kept like, do it.
So yeah, it took me a second to convince myself to do that one. Yeah, that is some definite speed on Z. I'm wondering if that is set to 16 instead of 4, because that is one of the options to go single start. So I need to check that.
And now we're back. Just like a couple weeks ago. And then I got that email from Gage saying, sorry about the interruptions. Sergio laying down $5.
Thank you, Sergio. I missed you guys the last couple of weeks.
Michael Cassell said, but what do we get to name with our money?
Yeah, we missed having you here too, Chris.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's not the same. This was started as a trio, and it needs to be a trio.
Well, not even that. Glenn and I are the goofy ones, and you actually answer questions, so we missed all of that.
Oh yeah, last week's stream was just off the rails.
Oh, it did. It went off the rails quick. I mean, not in a bad way.
Oh no, we were just talking about like old computer hardware and stuff, but there was nobody to reel us back in.
Right. And you know us old guys, once we get rambling about old things.
Well, talking about the good old days.
Back in my day, when I was younger.
Robert V. Line laying down some money. What did we get? 2?
Robert V. Line laid down a couple dollars. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm going to end up with kind of a hodgepodge firmware on this guy.
Well, wait. Now I haven't been on Twitter or anything, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you just said you did a large printer buy. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so I've been talking about this for a while. Like, I knew this day was coming, and I've been somewhat nervous about it ever since. And I don't remember when that was, but it was sometime in 2018, like late 2018, maybe like the end of the summer. Anyway, so E3D came out with the tool changer, and then they were taking money to stand in line to get one. So eventually when it came available, you give them I think it was 140 or something. You give them some money, and then that would save your place in line. Well, I was number like 413.
Right.
And they came out, I don't know when it was, September maybe, and they said that they were going to ship the first 100. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I'm 413. I've got a while. Well, Monday, my number came up. And they sent me an email that said, congratulations, it's time for you to buy an E3D Tool Changer. And I went, oh, no. This could be bad. I was actually pretty nervous when I saw the email. I read it a couple of times.
To make sure that that's what it said.
Yeah. And then the next thought was, I'm going to have to tell my wife. And then the next thought was, I wonder what it costs. So so then I looked, and yes, it was successfully, very much so, the most expensive 3D printer purchase I've ever had.
Well, that's hopefully that price will come down one day.
Yeah, I hope so, for the sake of everyone else. And I guarantee it is, high precision, top-notch stuff. But
now let me ask you this. Okay, so it's a tool. Is it a whole kit? I mean, it's like just a tool changer kit. So all the boards, everything comes with it, ready to go.
So they sell it a la carte, but they give you the list of here's everything you need to make it a kit.
Okay.
If you want 4 tool heads, if you want whatever. So I got everything that would make it a kit for 4 tool heads.
Okay.
The motion system by itself is around $1,600.
Okay.
With the rails, the frame, all that stuff, and then you start piling stuff on top of it.
So then you start adding electronics and
right.
I got it.
Default, they offer you the Duet Wi-Fi 2 or the Ethernet 2, and then you have to have the DuX to break it out if you want to use all the heads,
right,
and all that. We did talk about what the total was. Clint is saying let them guess the total. So since you guys weren't in that stream, I'll let you just take a guess at what the total was out the door.
Okay, you told them on your live stream?
Yesterday, we did mention it yesterday. So
yeah, I was not in your live stream yesterday. So, total out the door.
Yeah. Shipping was $100. So
okay. So 3. Since I don't know what all's got to go on it, but I mean, I'm assuming you have to buy all the hot ends and all that stuff separately.
Yep.
I'd say about $3,100.
I was going to say three grand.
Pretty close, actually. Yeah. Figuring it all up. Shipping, everything, lock, stock, and barrel. It was $3,700 and some change.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So
let me ask you this, because I mean we've all seen the Tool Changer several times,
mhm.
and I'm assuming that you've watched a couple of videos on. I have not. I have not watched any videos like Maker Noobs or anybody. I've seen them come across. I just hadn't watched them. Have you watched any of those?
I have not watched any like one-on-one videos. I've only seen the live stuff. Like, hey,
Okay.
here's the tool changer. Yep.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it being worth what you paid for it?
I don't know that it's worth what I paid for it. I mean, at any, I don't know what the top level price would be where I would say, okay, that this is, this is about what I would expect to pay. Again, I haven't touched it yet, so
Right.
maybe it's the coolest thing ever. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not asking for that. I'm just
Yeah.
in your mind, you're thinking this is what I'm going to get. $3,700 is it worth what you paid for it in your mind?
Just that scenario, it seems very high. Just from what I've seen it do, and what I know, the gist of what's going to be in that box,
Right.
I would have said 1,800.
Right.
Well,
I mean, because you get 4 full 3E E3D V6s.
right.
You get all the stuff to hook those up.
Yep.
And then, the duet stuff that you have to have, all the motors and all that stuff. I mean, that's where I was in my head. If you're buying that retail, I was getting to around 3,100, I guess. But
yeah,
I guess you're adding a little R&D.
Sure. And they're using the high end of the high end rails, and all the really
I was going to say, there's hardware in there too, and hardware adds up so stinging fast.
Yeah, and I don't know how they actually made a lot of those parts, but I mean it's all custom cut aluminum and all that. So I hope it comes down. I'm more interested in the ecosystem than anything. I really want to see people start making tools that interchange with that thing.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be incredible. The things that it could do.
Yeah, because I mean, you could get a 5-watt, a good 5-watt infrared laser on there. I mean, the precision with it should be pretty cool, because then you could like print a layer and like laser something into it, and then print a layer, and that would be awesome to do. Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity there, and we'll see how it goes. But I have no doubt that, I mean, the way E3D does things, but I have no doubt it's going to be cool. But yeah, I mean, but that's a good question though, because yes, first glance, it seemed a little spendy.
No, Christian's exactly right though. Everyone knows that Tool Changer isn't worth the money, but if you had the cash, you would probably get one. You're damn right. I've already had one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If money was no object, yes, I would have that, and I would be doing YouTube all day, playing with it and doing other things.
Yep.
But that I'm just real lifing it here. People that have bills, kids, whatever. $3,700 is quite a chunk of change.
It is.
Patrick Nienoff said you should put a 1.21 gigawatt laser on it.
Heck yeah. That you can only use during a thunderstorm with your cable ran out.
1.21 gigawatts.
Oh man, hey, I do want to give a progress update. The robotics team, I could not go the last time that they met. The robotics team at our high school, they continued to put the 3D printer together without me. And when I went this past Wednesday, I didn't have to back them up any. They had the hot end, the X-axis was mounted on the Z. The bed was mounted. They were getting ready to start mounting electronics. So we don't meet again until January the 8th, and we will see where they got, because I only stayed for about 15 minutes to see if they had any.
These are students that build robots.
Yeah, well, yes and no. They are called the robotics team, but they have no robots that they have built.
Well, I was just wondering, because like you were surprised that they could put a 3D printer together.
Well, you'd have to meet them.
Oh, so they're not watching. Sorry, guys.
I'm
no,
sure they are
it's not.
capable young people.
Hey, listen, no, I'm not saying that they're not capable young people, but they're, and you know how this goes, the socially awkward stuff, even in their own team.
Yeah, well, and being that they're young and students, they're all and so
Yeah, and being able to organize and get stuff in line and you know, have this person work on this and not be stepping all over each other. That's skills
Yeah.
they don't have.
Yep.
So, and I also got to help the teacher. They had their one of their, what are they called? The MakerBot?
Uh-huh.
I think so. She had a jam in it and she didn't know how to clear it, and it wasn't actually a jam. She was trying to put the filament in flat with no angle on the tip, and it was going down into the extruder and just hitting the top of the tube, the choke there. And I'm like, no, you need to like cut it at it. And I stuck it in there and it went right in. She's like, they never told me to do that. I'm like, well, now you know.
MakerBot replicator.
Yeah, the replicators. Yeah.
I still have the one from the library sitting over here. I haven't touched it. I mean, the upside, like the thing is they had it for 5 years and didn't touch it. So
yeah, she had actually gotten that one from the middle school. The middle school had it and they brought it over there because she was doing something for their class or something.
Well,
so,
I figure I'm still on schedule.
Yeah. But I will tell you, I've been pleasantly surprised so far with the ANET A8 Plus kit. It seems to be okay. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're putting it together, and it doesn't seem like they've had any issues with it yet.
Yeah, I'd be willing to give us, take a stab at one of those too. Just
well, and I still have another artillery over here in the box that was sent by TH3D for them to peruse and put together. So we'll see. I will do a comparison on the ease of assembly and all that stuff. The ANET A8 Plus is a true kit, like the ANET A8 was, except for it's made out of extrusions instead of acrylic. So. Right. And they give you a power switch now, which is really cool. So you have the power switch with a cover over your electronics and all that other stuff. So,
well, that's a nice improvement.
Absolutely. So I was really pleasantly surprised with that kit, and I appreciate it being donated.
Yeah, that was really nice of them.
Yeah.
Who kicked that one in, Walter?
I'll have to go back to my emails. I can't remember the guy's name. I had to pick it up in Gainesville down there. Let me run out my email real quick and I'll see. See if I can find his name real quick.
So, Walter, every one of these external drives that I may or may not be shucking right now turned out to be white label reds.
Right. Oh, and he's in here. It was John Scranton. I'm gonna blow his whistle. I saw him in here.
Oh, John, yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember names, man. I can't remember who gives what.
I fight that same issue.
And I remember what he looks like, what he drove up when he met me at Sonny's in Gainesville. But
I was gonna say where you ate, what you had to eat that day.
No, we didn't eat Sonny's, but we were going to a football game down there that my daughter was marching at.
Oh, do they play football in Gainesville?
Oh yeah, even in the high school level. And y'all have to excuse my lighting, the blowout on I've got my door open because of the diesel fuel that I had on that bed.
Diesel fuel.
Well, I don't know what else you want to call it. That's exactly what it smelled like. Like I opened a can of diesel fuel. I've been so lazy. We finally put our Christmas tree up today.
Whew.
And you know what? I was so happy. I forgot that we bought a new one last year. And it's one of those that has the spinny base on it, and it's got one cord on it. So when you plug the tree in and then you plug the different sections in, there's no other plugs you have to find to plug them in. It's all housed in the center.
In the pole, yeah.
So you just stick them together and they're all plugged in and you're like, sweet. And then you hit a button and it rotates slowly around and around.
Oh, you got a spinny kind.
Yeah.
God, I remember when that was popular, like when I was an itty bitty kid.
Betty Boop, yes, we are. We are definitely going to a bowl. We are going to the Orange Bowl down in, I guess it's still in Miami. So, Michael Cassell said they put his up, but hadn't decorated it. Chris, now do y'all do Christmas trees and the normal?
Me, my wife loves Christmas.
Okay.
So she is in charge of all that. I just stand back and say, yeah, it looks good. So
I hear you.
But yeah, we host the whole family, get together meal, the whole 9 yards. She loves that stuff. So
I love the whole putting up the Christmas lights, but I don't necessarily look forward to anybody coming over.
Oh, come on now. You wouldn't do it if you didn't want people to see it.
Oh, no. I like the people driving up to, off the street and looking at it, but I don't want them, knocking on my door.
No, I got you.
So one of the kids that Zach plays baseball with, I'm up here at the computer one night, and all of a sudden there's a knock at the door, which it happens. I mean, people will just come up to the door and knock and be like, "Oh, I love your Christmas lights," and sometimes they bring us cookies, which is kind of cool. One night they gave us money, which we told them to donate to St. Jude's, but they were like, "Well, we just want to give it to you," so I donated it to St. Jude's through Chili's. But so there's a knock at the door, and I go down and I open it up, and there's this kid standing on the front porch, and I'm like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey." I'm like, "So what are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, we just want to come see the lights." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's all by himself. I'm kind of like looking around because I'd never seen this kid not in his baseball uniform. And so like I didn't really and then it dawned on me who it was, and I'm like, "Oh." Just some random kid on my doorstep.
So I have security cameras around my house. Did I tell you guys about the kid smashing my pumpkin?
No. Great band, by the way, Smashing Pumpkins.
I automatically thought of that, by the way. But anyway, I was working from home that day, and I was in the other room or whatever. And sometimes, like, if packages are coming or whatever, I got a little TV in the office that I'll watch the cameras just to see, because the dogs are go crazy, and just to see who's sneaking up on me, right?
Yep.
But
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, but I was in the other room, so I was away from it, and I hear this sound, and I'm like, that's odd. I thought maybe like the wind knocked something over or whatever. And it was like the day after Halloween or something. I hadn't thrown the pumpkin away yet, and they were kind of dry because we had to do it early, so it wasn't a big mess. But it looked like the pumpkin just fell over and fell off the railing and broke. I'm like, no big deal. So I pick it. It's like 4 chunks. I throw it in the trash can. Nothing. But I'm like, you know what? I'd really like to know what happened there. So I went back onto the video, and this kid, I kid you not, it's him and his buddy walking down the street. He's probably 12, and he comes back, and he sneaks like he's the Pink Panther. I mean, he's like, like these huge steps, and he grabs the railing, and he's one stepping it at a time, and then all of a sudden it's like he explodes. He grabs it, smashes it, and he takes off. It was almost worth it because I bet you he took 5 minutes to get up those 2 steps. He was going so slow. I just wish I would have opened the door right then.
Oh, that would have been hilarious, man.
Oh, man. But all right, whatever. That's what trips your trigger, I guess.
Wow. Yeah, I want to get a better surveillance because I'm using 4 of those Wise cameras right now.
Yeah.
But that started with because I bought one because everybody's talking about how great they were, so I bought one, and I thought, well, I can put this up in the window and see out the front of my house. Then I'm like, well, I can't quite see around to the side, so I got another one, and I stuck it in that window. Then I'm like, well, I'd like to see the backyard too, so I bought another one.
That's how that starts too, because you always have a hole.
Yeah, there's always a dark spot somewhere.
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is I can't see to the other side of the detached garage, so I want to do decent cameras out there, and I'd like them to be pan, tilt, zoom, so that I can zoom in on license plates.
Yeah, did you check those ones I sent that I told you about, Glenn? The AM Crest ones?
Oh no, that was just last week. I got that note. Right here, but I didn't look into it.
I got you. Because I've got 5 of those, man, and they are awesome. And the cool thing is, the motion tracking will actually pan it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
now, are those compatible? Are they IP based cam? Can you actually go to them with a web browser?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't remember if I had asked you that or not, because that's my big gripe with the Wise cams is that you have to use the app.
Ow.
So now I got an Echo Show, and you can enable it with your Alexa to. I can just ask her to show me the front yard, and she shows me the front yard.
Right.
But then you have to be wherever that show is. Right. So, but I did figure out how to put them into TinyCam Pro. So I have TinyCam Pro running on my desktop PC. So when I'm sitting over there during the day, I can see what's going on outside. I can see when the Amazon guy gets here. Well, does anybody else get 2 Amazon deliveries a day?
No.
I get 2 trucks a day. I think I might have a problem.
Let me tell you, I have something coming, and I got it off of eBay. It was pretty cheap. I need it for my house, and it was in Ocala. Okay, so the guy's like, and the shipping was, I don't know, like $15 from Ocala to here, and I didn't realize it was from Ocala until after I'd already purchased and paid and all that. So anyway, then I get a tracking number, which is FedEx, which is okay. I'm like, okay, it's like 3 hours from here to Ocala, so it should take, a couple days. No, it's got to go all the way up to like Ellenwood, Georgia.
Yeah, it's got to go to a hub somewhere.
Yeah, I got to go to a hub somewhere and then come back. So I'm like, okay, so it went to Jacksonville, then it went to, I can't remember, some L word, Georgia, and then it went to Ellenwood. So
Alpharetta.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's like 6 days to get here, and I'm like, that is ridiculous for a 3 hour trip. Yeah. I told the guy, I messaged the guy, I said, man, I wish I'd have knew you were in Ocala. I'd have just drove over and picked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Lama said Wise will be converting to either app or web browser after New Year. But is it proprietary? Like, do you have to go to their web page, or can I punch in the IP of the camera and see it? That's what I need, so I can put it into OBS, so that I can have cameras on all my printers.
All right, so I'm gonna have to turn my back to the camera again. Here's just a second. I am going to set my nozzle height, since I have a 1.2 millimeter nozzle in my TiVo right now.
Hey, Keith. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen you, man. You went quiet even on Twitter.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, Keith. What's up?
En route to Pittsburgh for game tonight. Very cool. Very cool. No pun intended, because it is colder up there than it is here.
Right.
It was beautiful out today, but it's still a little warm. So.
Yeah, it is pretty warm. It was pretty out today, though. You are correct there.
Yeah. Even though I spent the whole entire day at PetSmart adopting a cat. And I mean the whole day. And that's not PetSmart's fault. It's because my children couldn't decide between 2. And they were both just deadlocked. One wanted this one wanted this one. And then I had to come home to pick up the carrier because we had no intention on adopting a cat today. And I'm driving home and I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I don't need another cat. Why am I? And so I call my wife, and then the kids are like flipping out. We don't care which one we take. We'll take either one. We don't care. So, but she's really sweet. She's 4 months old. Black and white, majority white with black spots. In fact, the spot on top of her head is shaped like a heart. It's kind of cute. So she looks like a cow. But yeah, it's so now I have 3 cats. Mad Mike said I would have given you a cat or 15. Yeah, no, I didn't need a third one. I didn't, but Just something about this cat. I knew that this cat needed a home. She was stray. They scooped her up out of the parking lot of a Circle K. I guess she had been hanging out at Circle K for a while. And
with Bill and Ted.
Yeah, maybe.
I love it when I just crash the head into the bed. What do y'all think?
Well, that's really good for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We named her. What did we name her? Klutzy, right? Klutzy. Yeah, they were back and forth between Klutzy and Clumsy. So when you go, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a PetSmart, but when you go in with the cats, there's like a little room, and then there's another door where all the cats are in the cages, and they bring them into the little visiting room. So she's in there with us, and she's hanging out, and she's calm, but then she decides that she's going to jump through the window of the door, you know, because it was like a foot off the ground, and then the window, and just right into the glass. Boom. So they're like, oh, she's clumsy. So they named her Clumsy, and I'm like, well, then we need to name her. Well, they decided on Klutzy, but I said, well, let's go Klutzy Cat, so I can just call her Cece. So we have Chaos, Mayhem, and Klutzy are our three cats. I wanted to name her Trouble, but the kids were mad because I get to name all the cats, and then they're like, no! But rescue animals are the best animals because they know it. They know that you saved them, and they always act different.
The only animals I've ever had were ones that nobody else wanted. Like, hey, I got this dog. You want it? I'm like, I guess.
Well, we have purchased one animal since we've been married in 25 years. And that one had puppies, and we've had those. And then I adopted a stray cat, and she had kittens, and we still have 2 of those. And that's it. Like, we haven't done anything else with animals.
Okay. I think
3 Homebrew said his 2 are Mischief and Rascal. Well, when I came home to pick up the carrier, now I had been holding that cat at the pet store for a while. And so when I came in, I let them smell me, and they smelled me for like 2 seconds and didn't care. So I thought, excellent. Well, then, of course, when we bring home the cat, then they're not so sure about it.
mm-hmm.
It's not just a smell, it's something that moves. But so we have the new cat in the master bathroom right now, and they're at, you know, like the current cats and the new cat are at each side of the door sniffing each other. So hopefully it'll go well. My cats are pretty laid back, so it shouldn't. The new cat doesn't seem to care.
He has 5 hermit crabs. Hermit crabs are cool.
Yeah, and you can 3D print them some shells.
You can.
Show them from a skewed view 3D printed some for some hermit crab people at Orlando Maker Faire this year.
Nice.
We have 2 dogs, 4 cats, a bird, and 4 tortoises. I have a red ear slider turtle as well, who decided to eat the silicone from her tank and dump about 25 gallons of water out on my garage floor this week. So,
wow,
I love that.
Right now she's in a big like 150-gallon Rubbermaid tote so that I can re-silicone her tank. But I also have like 6 fish, but they're really food. We don't give them names because one day they'll just be gone.
All right, so I need to do a new profile for a 1.2 millimeter nozzle. So on the print, what would be the, you know, the golden rule for a 1 millimeter layer height?
75%.
So that's the golden rule of those. So all right.
Yeah, that's what I stick to. You can go bigger than that, but yeah, I would do 175 or something like that to start out with. Or what'd you say? It's a 1.2 or a 1?
It's a 1.2.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, 75% of that. What is that?
0.85, I think, would be about right.
All right. So I'll do 0.85 on here. I'm just going to do that. 0.85. All right, first layer height. Since I'm wanting to do a 1 millimeter layer height, what do you, 0.8 on that as well?
See, I run my initial layer heights the same as all my layer heights. Like I don't do a different one for the first layer.
For the most part, I do as well.
I mean, I know that it's pretty common to do a different layer height on your first layer, but now, I set my nozzle at 0.2 above the bed, and then I run a 0.2 layer height.
Patrick got me on that one. I wanted to check his Twitter.
Oh, that's funny. And to see if Chris was paying attention, he'd have highlighted that up onto the screen.
That's true.
If Gage was paying attention, I'd have the ability to highlight that up on the screen.
I'm still using the YouTube chat.
Tristan said stick to 0.6 millimeter for a 1.2 millimeter nozzle. Now running that large of a nozzle, of course, it's a Volcano hot end. I was going to say, when you have to then print slower to heat the filament enough to run it through, which kind of negates the whole.
All right. Well, let's finish the setup, because right now I've got my perimeter speed at like 80 millimeters a second. That should be okay, right? I can push filament through here at 80 millimeters a second.
Yeah.
With a Volcano, probably.
All right. So now we get on the filament settings. The diameter's fine. Extrusion multiplier should be okay, right, at 1.
Yeah.
What do you think the heat on a Volcano PLA?
I'd at least jump up to like 230.
Hey, Walter, Keith said that he can't seem to tag you in chat, but to check your Twitter DMs.
I did. I checked it, and I messaged him back. All right. So I've got it set at 230. So the other layers, 225? Or leave it at 230?
Start with that. I mean, you'll know.
All right, cooling, I'm going to leave it at 50% because it's on the little monster and you don't want any more than that. All right, so printer settings really shouldn't have to change. Wait, yeah, there's an extruder here. I got to change that to 1.2 millimeters there. All right, I'm just going to keep it like that. You know, everything else I'm going to leave the same. Now I got to find a vase to friggin' try this with. I don't think I have a decent vase downloaded. Bob, it's a tree fitty.
Elf Pimp asked, have any of you guys seen Angus's vid at Maker's Muse about the 1.0 millimeter nozzle printing he's done?
No, I
and
haven't.
I'm not. I've been really bad about watching YouTube lately. I have not watched.
Dave Avery, I'm doing this in Prusa Slicer, so go find a cheap vase here.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Print wide extrusion width. Wide extrusion width. Where the heck do you set extrusion width on here?
Yeah, that's gonna, if extrusion width might get interesting. When you go big nozzle like that, the most common thing is none of the layers will stick. But a lot of times that's heat. But so on like a 0.4 nozzle, you'd want like 0.45 width.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this one, I think that what is that? Extrusion multiplier? What is that? I mean,
No, it will give you a width based on what movement you're doing. In Prusa Slicer, I think it's in print settings advanced or something.
All right, so I'm on advanced on the extruder. I'm an expert on the extruder. It's got a layer height limit, extruder offset, all the retraction settings, length, extra length on restart. Let me go to general. Single extruder material, host type, no. G-code flavor, no. None of that.
Yeah, print settings tab, and then it's advanced on the left.
I don't have an advanced on the left.
Oh,
They didn't give Walter the advanced tab.
Not printer settings, print settings.
They have him.
Oh, I got you.
They have him locked out of the advanced settings.
All right, so the default is 0.45, so I have to go bigger with that.
Yeah. It gives. I think in the help it gives you a rule of otherwise 1.125 times nozzle diameter.
So 1.125 times 1.2 equals.
Yeah, it says if you set all those to 0, that will be what the default is. 1.125.
Oh well, this is 1.135. I think is what it comes up to, right?
Corey Mack said he just finished putting a Hermera on his Sidewinder.
Yeah, this is 1.35. Should be my width.
Yes, you got it.
All right, so then the first layer and all that. Do you want to change this?
Yeah. First layer is going to be. I mean, first layer as a general rule is a little bit less because it's going to have some squish to it.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: is it 1.35% or 1.35 millimeters?
So if you're doing it in decimal, that's going to relate to millimeters.
Yeah, right. So I put mm at the end. Nope, won't let you do that. Do you mean 1.35% instead of 1.35 millimeters? Select yes if you want to change this value to 1.35%, or no if you're sure that 1.35 millimeters is the correct value. So I hit no and it changed it back to 0.45. No, then it changed it. Okay, it took it a minute. All right,
Yeah,
so
that's probably an abnormal size. So there's probably a protector built in there.
I don't know. That's just crazy stuff.
Mad Mike 8 asked me how the FK1's coming along. It's coming along beautifully. It's still sitting in the crate in the garage.
At least it's well protected.
Did I tell the story? I bought the perfect workbench for that thing. But I was backing the truck into the garage and I caught the uprights on the desk. I caught them on the top of the garage door. I didn't have the garage door opened all the way, and I bent the two uprights. Now I gotta take it. It's like a $300 and some odd lab table that I got for like $40 from the University of Florida. But now I got to pull those uprights off and try to straighten them. I never pull anything that tall. It's a 12-foot tall garage door, but I don't open it all the way. I don't pull anything that big in.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for that. $300 lab table, not anymore. Yeah, there was another one that went through the auction. I was just going to buy another one, but it ended up going for almost $100, and I didn't want to invest $100. I'm pretty sure I can straighten these. I just got to take them off and put them in the hydraulic press. Give it a little squish in the opposite direction. It should be okay.
It'll be fine.
So the way that it works, it's really cool because it's got a base with wheels, and then it's got these two uprights, and then everything is, you know how shelves have those tabs where you can, the adjustable shelves. It's
right.
The same way. So the bench top and everything, you can move it so it can be a standing desk or a sitting, whatever you want. And then it's got a couple of drawers and a cabinet, and then a shelf for the top, and the shelf is rated for like a ridiculous amount of weight. I forget how much, like 900 pounds or something. So it'll be perfect. I can put my rep box up there, which does not weigh 900 pounds. Tristan said for such a large nozzle diameter, just stick to the actual nozzle size for extrusion width. And Elf Pimp 1 agrees.
Yeah. Now if I hit save this and hit OK, now I can go find that vase I was looking for.
Amazon's here.
All right,
For the
I'm just
second
gonna
time.
do a simple little spiral vase. Pretty sure I've printed this 1,000 times.
Oh, I should go get that.
And I do have a 1 millimeter nozzle and 0.6 and 0.8 and all these others that came in this pack. It was a 5-pack. Now these are stainless nozzles, Chris. Will that make a difference on my temperature, you think?
Probably like 10 degrees, but since you're changing so much at once,
Yeah.
you're just gonna have to kind of get an idea of it as it's printing, I think.
Come on, man. You're supposed to be able to like spit out these numbers.
Yeah, well, run it up to 280.
280. My PLA just be dripping out.
It's just smoke.
Yeah. All right. So what we got here on thing files? I'm just going to be amazed if it lays down a first layer.
Yeah, that scenario is actually, I mean, if you're not piping in enough heat on the filament, that's actually pretty obvious because you'll actually start to dip in temperature. The filament's actually cooling you down instead of you heating it up.
Right.
So you'll kind of know.
All right. So if I go here and download this, waiting on Thingiverse.
The snow's almost 8 inches. Dave lives close to me. That's not a good sign. I didn't realize it was that deep already. That's what happens when you stay down in your basement for 8 hours in a row.
But you should be able to like gauge it next to on your little basement window, shouldn't you?
It's just covered enough where I can't see the snow.
Oh. Sean Gould said 400C for the win.
There you go.
Now I don't have to hold my flashlight in my mouth anymore.
Hold on, I can't see you.
You can't see me.
I love it.
Wow. I've got a couple of those. I can't tell a lie.
Well, I had the one from Harbor Freight, but it was really sad. And then it was the incandescent one, the yellow one, and so I took it apart and put LED in it, but it still wasn't, like, the reflector wasn't very good in it. So now I got this one. Glenn Hogue is in the house. Glenn with one N, like a serial killer.
That's right.
All right, so let's see how this. I don't know if this is going to work with one. This doesn't look like a good one perimeter layer print.
Yeah, if it ever starts snowing here in Florida due to climate change or whatever, I'm going to have to dig a basement.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Go back out there and try this again.
I like it. Now 2 pairs of glasses and my light, I can see.
If you can't, there's something wrong.
So supposedly this thing has a function. You can put it into a mode where you put your hand up to it and it turns on. You put your hand up to it and it shuts off.
Oh wow.
And my thought is like, how great will that be for working on the car? Oh, and it's like the flashlights where you can pull it out and change the beam size.
Fancy.
It is pretty fancy. I had a really good time with Black Friday this year. Black Friday, then Black Friday weekend, then Cyber Monday, then Cyber Week, and then the 12 days of deals that Amazon's been running. Oh yeah, this is
So we've been on here an hour and 12 minutes, and it hadn't come up yet. But we need to discuss this with our loyal followers here. This is our last stream of Fun in the Country Basement for the year.
Oh, you should have just said it was our last stream and then paused for like 30 seconds.
That'd be cool and unusual, man.
Yeah, nice.
Until January the 12th.
Is it the 12th?
Yeah. I mean, y'all are welcome to anytime after the new year. I just won't be back until.
No, I couldn't remember the date, but yeah, no, I think that's good because there's just so much. There's so much going on, and you figure next Sunday being the 22nd, like rolling right into Christmas, and then the weekend after that is rolling right into New Year's. So,
all right, so let's see how good this thing puts out plastic at this temperature. Send G code, and we're going to call this Twisted Vase _1_1_2.
So then is it my week to host then?
Yeah,
you'll be up that.
Fun, right?
Are we back into a regular rotation?
Yep, it'll be all three again.
Patrick asked, was I taking a vacation to work on the Stargate? No, I'll actually be in Glendale, Arizona over New Year's again.
Taking a vacation to work on the Stargate.
Right. I'm taking a vacation from working on the Stargate. What are you talking about?
I just want to get it done. I'm going to take a month off.
Oh, yeah. Sean Gould said almost a full month. There won't be any Walter left to see. It'll just be a shadow. Yep. I'm hoping. I will say, I told the guys, man, I'm ready to eat real food again. Because, I'm getting tired of steak and bacon and sausage and shrimp and fish.
That meat stuff. Ugh.
Man, I need to go back to the vegetarian stuff I was eating before.
Well, it's funny, like over the last 2 years or so, I've gotten to the point where I enjoy vegetables a lot more than I ever did, but I still got to have meat. And of course, it's always the starches that you miss.
I know you can't see that, but it doesn't look like it reduced the size of the filament at all.
No, I'm sure it looks full size.
It's real close.
Joshua, I actually uploaded a video of the Christmas lights, and I will get that URL and share it. It's an unlisted video just so that it doesn't get taken down. I got hit with a copyright strike immediately upon uploading it.
Oh,
but I put it on my personal YouTube channel, so I don't monetize there anyway. It doesn't matter. Yeah, give me just a second, and I will dig up that link and share it with all of you wonderful people.
I'm telling you, this comment right here, best moderators on YouTube, I swear. These guys feel bad because they don't show up for work on my streams.
right?
Well, they should.
I love it.
Stephen will be pulling out of the driveway the morning of the 27th. We should arrive on the 29th. I'm crossing my fingers. We can do it in 2 days. Glenn Hogue, I don't know what A1C is, but cool. Yes, we are driving. My wife said she wasn't flying again, so we are driving. Not only that, we're delivering presents from all of my daughters that aren't going to my granddaughters that are there, plus my mother and all of them are sending presents over to them. Uh-oh. What the heck? Come on, man.
Walter, are you saying you don't know what an A1C is, or you don't know what yours is?
I don't know what it is. What is A1C?
It is a long-term blood sugar test. They usually do it over the course of 3 months or 6 months.
Yeah, that's the reason I went on my diet then. Just so you know.
It's so that you can't, because like a regular blood test, like if you were just going in and they were going to poke your finger, you can cheat that by not eating crap for a couple of days.
Right.
The A1C, you can't cheat that.
No, and that's what we're doing. We have to I gotta fix that. I can't stand that. That is something that's the reason I'm on my diet to begin with. Because that was like I was almost diabetic and I'm good.
All right, I am going to share a link to the video in the chat. You guys can go watch it. We'll wait. No, it's like 3 or 4 minutes, but that is my Christmas light display from last year, which is pretty similar to this year. I add a little bit every year. In fact, I add stuff all the way through the season, but that's one song of a 22-minute long show.
What kind of music do you play? I mean, is it like Christmas music or is it like
it's Christmas music, but it's all super upbeat.
Right.
I have like 3 Trans-Siberian Orchestra songs, which is what one of these is.
Right.
Just like got copyright struck right away.
That is Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the first one that you just posted, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but you shouldn't play that where we can hear it on here, because then this will get a copyright strike.
All you got was I wasn't playing the song.
I'm telling you, immediately upon uploading it, strike. But yeah, and then I've got some.
What is going on here?
God, I can't remember who they are. It's all upbeat, like techno type stuff. And then I have on at midnight on New Year's, it plays a very upbeat version of Auld Lang Syne, like 3 or 4 times in a row, and nobody has ever seen it but the wife and I.
Huh.
Because it plays, and there is no one out there. There's nobody driving by. There is nothing. Nothing like spending, like 40 hours programming a song for nobody to see but yourself.
Well, I hate to do this. I guess I'm going to.
That's a great drop, Glenn. 6.8 puts you into a normal range, man. I can't wait to see mine after this new medication. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, it's a fun hobby where I gotta stop. Like I don't work on it early enough in the year. Like I usually start to program the next song during the season, and I really need to like start doing it earlier so that I can have it ready for the season.
Right. Something is not right with this. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out later. I'm not messing with it right now because I'm too aggravated.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Everybody watching your video now?
Yeah. Actually, Keith, I'm just now looking at using X-Lights. All of that is done through the Lightorama software. All the controllers are Lightorama, but I'm looking at Falcon controllers to do RGB for next year.
Lightorama sounds like a good time.
Their stuff is real nice, but it's there's not enough. Like you have to. It's almost like an Apple product. You got to kind of live in their backyard.
Yeah.
You have to use their software there. There's ways to venture out from it, but their support has always been real good and stuff. But their software is a little bit expensive for updates, for new licenses and stuff. So I'm looking at alternative options, and then I want to start to get into more and more of the RGB pixel, which if you don't do it the right way, gets expensive really fast.
Yeah.
Freddie asked, I guess you can't buy that on a plug and play from eBay. No. a lot of those props and stuff I handmade a lot of that. The big tree is 8,000 LEDs. So.
And Clint, yes, I do. I do have a clone. It's the one that's on the TiVo. It's worked flawlessly since I got it. Yeah, it was. And back up here, Llama asked me a question. So, Walter, what's the diet base you're on? Seems to be working. It's a modified keto. Basically, I cut out all sugars and carbs, all of them. I mean, yeah, I mean, you eat things that have some sugar, but no added sugar whatsoever. So that's pretty much it.
Keith, I'd have to come start in like July to have enough time to do yours and then mine.
I just had this image of somebody walking around the house with a ladder, and you go out and ask them what they're doing. And then, hey, it's July. I put up Christmas lights.
Well, it's funny because I really do start in about July, but not putting them up on the house, but just working on stuff in the garage, working on software changes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. See me, whenever you say, putting up Christmas lights and I start working on things in the garage, that just throws me off of that, because mine is like making sure I have a thumbtack up there that'll hold the lights up to the house.
No, like all the lights that go on the eaves of the house and stuff, I have mounted to pipe. It's all on 1/2-inch electrical conduit on metal EMT conduit. Yeah. So like to put that up, I just get like a 24-foot strand out of the garage and bring it. And now we rent the bucket, and I go up there and I put it into clips that I 3D printed. So like that part of it, with the bucket, I get all the stuff on the house in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that's the quick part. But then it's putting all the stuff around in the yard, and then you got to get out the chart to figure out what plugs into where. Because every one of the controllers, and I wish I had one up here, every one of the controllers has 16 dongles hanging out of it to plug into. It's 16 channels. So you got to know what plugs into where.
Did you see at Walmart they're selling the 4-channel ones this year with the 4 dongles?
I didn't see them at Walmart, but I've seen them.
But they have them at Walmart, and they come with the software to run them.
Right, and the music built in and stuff.
No. This is actually, you run them from your computer just like normal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you can daisy chain up to 8 of them together, so you can have up to 32 channels for your show.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think they're like $59 a box or something like that. I forgot what it is.
Yeah, these controllers are about $200 a piece if you buy them completed. I buy them when they're on sale in the spring as kits, which I still have another one I need to put together, but you get them for about $140. But I really want to go. I really want to go to doing the pixels. I can show you what I've been working on for the last couple of days, or weeks, or a month now. Give me a second. I got to unhook it.
So what type of decorations do you put on the outside of your house there, Chris?
Oh, we don't do much. Like, we've got a covered porch out front that's kind of goes to the front of the house, and we wrap some lights all the way around the posts and stuff like that, and around the railing. And she's got some wreaths and stuff she puts out, but nothing very dramatic.
So this is 3/4-inch EMT electrical conduit that's run through a pipe or a tubing roller from Harbor Freight to make a 3 foot tall by 6 foot wide arch. And then I drill 50 12mm holes in one side and 50 13mm holes in the other side. And then the pixels punch through, which are these. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can, or I can.
That's these, and these are all RGB. So each one of these is a red LED, a green LED, and a blue LED. So each one of them is 3 channels a piece. So there's 50 on here. So this is 150 channels in the software that you control to tell it what to turn on and off and when. And So, and I built 8 of these. This is what I was doing in the garage yesterday when I told you guys my arms were absolutely killing me. 700 holes yesterday.
Keith, I'll dig into that a little bit later. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. And I can't believe Llama even said that to me, man. He's like, no sugar in coffee? I'm like, yeah, I haven't drank sugar in coffee in 15 years.
That's an East Coast thing for those guys.
What, black coffee?
Cream and sugar.
Oh, I'm on the East Coast.
Well, northeastern then.
There you go. Is that one of those?
But you're on the west coast of the state.
I am. Man. So does he drink his finger with his pinky up, or will drink his coffee with his pinky up? Is that it?
It is too. I mean, a lot of places like like you go to Boston or something. Local places, you say coffee, it's cream and sugar. I mean, that's I can't drink this.
Yeah. No, absolutely not.
Yep.
Now, I will tell you if your coffee tastes like crap, but don't put any sugar or creamer in it. And caution me if I was doing any supplements. Nope, just food, man.
If anybody's looking for a Wise Cam, they are currently on sale for $19.99.
Wow.
But there's already 26% claimed, so you better hurry up.
There you go, Michael Cassell. Coffee flavored sugar water. Yeah, but down here, if you ask for a regular coffee, they'll bring you the cream and sugar to put in it. They won't do it for you. I mean,
right.
That's ridiculous. That would really make me mad. It'd be like, no, go back and get me another cup that has nothing in it but coffee.
I don't drink coffee at all. I tried to do that. I didn't like it and thought, why would I even bother?
Yeah, my wife doesn't like coffee either. I tried to wean her off of Mountain Dews by drinking coffee, and it didn't matter how much sugar or creamer she put in it. She didn't like it.
Yeah.
Not only that, it didn't settle her stomach very well. She had to run and get rid of it as soon as she got done drinking it.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched people make a cup of coffee, and it'll be like half coffee, and then the rest cream and sugar, and it's like, why bother even putting the coffee in there?
Right. It's like, yeah, fill up half the cup with creamer, and then 3 big heaping tablespoons of sugar. Yeah. And then just drop some coffee on top of it. That's all I want.
That's the high-speed train to diabetes.
Yeah, right. I have learned a lot about sweeteners, man. I have absolutely learned a lot about sweeteners in the past month or almost 2 months. It's been almost 2 months. I'm down 41.5 pounds in 2 months. So, you know, it's coming off pretty good.
Let me tell you what. I just got an Amber Alert, but when I pulled it up, it was the name of a kid that I know.
Oh, wow.
It's not him, but let me tell you what, that just punched me in the stomach. Whew.
I bet.
Now my wife wants to name the new cat Cuddles.
Puddles?
Cuddles.
Oh.
So we have Chaos and Mayhem and Cuddles.
Chaos, Mayhem, and Cuddles. You should have named the last one Allstate.
With mayhem like me, you need Allstate.
No, Chris Travis, I'm actually, based on the online site that I'm using, I'm supposed to do 1,777 calories of food per day to lose 2 pounds a week. I'm eating anywhere from 800 to 900 calories a day, and I'm losing 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a day, pretty much. So yeah, that's why I said you don't want to do what I'm doing. And I told Regina what I'm trying to do is get down to the weight I want to be at, and then ease back up to that 1,700, 1,800 calories a day to maintain that weight.
Well, and you can ease back to that 1,700 calories, but with the right 1,700
There
calories.
you go, exactly right. You know, but like I told her, in order to maintain weight and not lose more weight, because I really want to get down to around 210, not go any lower than that. I mean, I think I'd look kind of sickly if I did that. So I want to get down to around 210 and then actually ease into the gym and ease into eating back like I'm supposed to, or I need to based on exercise level and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I too am easing into the gym. I've been easing into it for like almost 48 years now.
Yeah, right. That was me, man. That was me. But I will tell you, and I told you last week or week before, I can't remember, I went to the gym and I wasn't going to use the trainer. So I get on the machine, you know, and I do my bench presses and I do it to failure, right? Like they used to tell us in the Army, you're supposed to do push-ups to failure. So I do it to failure. Dude, I couldn't even hardly lift my arm for a week. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again without a trainer. We got to ease into this thing. You can't. It's not like when you were 17, you could just go in there and pump it out and get up, and then the next day you're like, oh yeah, I'm a little sore. No.
Tony Ryan said, easing into the gym. I drive past it once a week.
Right. There you go. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. You know those Pelotons? I watch the commercial for that all the time.
Dude, I broke a sweat watching that commercial. What
Yeah.
you talking about?
I tell everybody the closest I get to going to a gym is my wife goes to the gym.
Well, no, and I do have a really good friend who's into the weightlifting and bodybuilding, been friends since elementary school, and they own a gym. And he's a trainer, which is cool. So I'm going to do that. I am going to go to him and say, all right, Zeke, this is what I want to do. Because you can't just stop eating, you know.
Well, no, that's not healthy.
Right. So I need to, and I even talked to my wife. I think I may actually go to the Walmart. They've got a weeder home system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's $180 for 250 pounds of weight. I'm not looking to buff up.
I have a total gym. This is the second one that I've owned in life. And I don't use this one as much as I should. The first one I had, I used it so much I wore the wheels out on it. Like I broke the wheels.
Right.
But, and in fact, I used it enough that I had to put blocks of wood because, you know, it's all based on incline of your own body weight. I put blocks of wood under it to increase the incline.
Right.
This one collects a lot of dust, but.
Well, if you ever want to get rid of it, because I was looking at one of those too. That would be cool to have because you can fold it up.
Picked it up out of a thrift store for like $100.
Yeah, they've got them all over on the Facebook Marketplace. I was looking day before yesterday, and you can go get some really nice stuff on there cheap. People are getting it out of their garage or whatever.
People are tired of putting their laundry on it.
Right. Mad Mike 8 said, by single-handed push-ups, if you mean the orange sherbet tube, then yes. Yes, I can single-hand push-up too. I can actually do a single-handed push-up. I don't have a problem with that. I can do a aerial. I can do a no-handed cartwheel. I just don't because I'm old and stuff breaks. Later, Freddie.
Where are you going?
Red
You're
light.
gonna work stuff out.
I bet you do. Red light. I bet people throw them away all the time. Chris, how's it going, man? I see you over there fiddling with that thing.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a complete rewrite of the firmware. I'm doing my best. So he's gone to all the trouble of putting in variables for all the different configurations you can have on this printer. So SKGo 300, define this, and then it's going to try to set motor direction and whatever it might set.
Right.
He's gone through a lot of trouble to go through and settle that up. But this whole stream, I've been trying just different options to see what they do, and I don't think any set actually configure this printer correctly.
So now he doesn't have a copy of the firmware dating back to the point that printer was made?
He probably does. It's just not on the GitHub.
And you haven't reached out to him?
No, he was saying the other day that because probably like 9 o'clock at night, he's in Taiwan. So 9 o'clock at night, he'll say, "Hey, I just got up and saw your whatever." So
Right.
but yeah, I'm sure he's got the firmware for it, but I don't know. If I feel like messing with it tonight, I'll probably.
Elf Pimp, go have fun with that, buddy.
She who must be obeyed just told me we have to go to the dealership to buy a car for the teenage daughter. Get off the sidewalk.
Nice. Thanks for the warning.
I don't know where you're at, Elf Pimp, but I will definitely not be on the sidewalk. I am so glad that I'm taking 2 of my daughters that have driver's license with me to Arizona, because when I get tired, I can say, all right, get your butt up in here and don't get off of I-10. Stay on I-10. Just go till we get close to out of gas, and then you pull into a gas station and wake me up.
Yeah, my wife forgot that part one time.
Yeah?
On I-10 nonetheless.
The pulling into the gas station?
Yeah, I was sleeping in the passenger side and she was driving, and all of a sudden the truck goes, and I snapped awake and I went, oh my God, we're out of gas. Just like that. I knew immediately waking up what happened.
Yeah.
So we were stranded on the side of I-10 for quite a while until the tow truck guy came.
I was fixing to say, don't think the state troopers are going to stop and help you.
Oh no, he did. A state trooper did stop and then said to me, well, where's your gas can? Don't you carry a gas can? And I said, no. And he's like, well, you should always carry a gas can. I'm like, can I borrow yours?
Right.
Well, I don't have one. I'm like, well, you should always carry a gas can.
Right. But you know, my daughter, I think I told you, she blew a tire out an hour and 30 minutes from here.
I seen that post on Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, so she blew that tire. Nobody stopped and asked her if she needed help the entire time.
Well, she might have been a murderer.
Yeah. There was a state trooper parked in the ditch not 3/4 of a mile from where she was at. And never once did he come see, and she had her hazards on the whole time.
Yeah.
Never once did he come to check on her.
No, we live in a sad world now.
Elf Pimp lives in Seattle. Oh, I'm safe. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's not much of a chance of us getting run over.
Well, it is a teen driver.
But I'll tell you, if you get run over, then I know to get off the sidewalks.
Right. Yeah, and Michael Cassell's right. That's what AAA is for. And I have roadside assistance on my vehicles from Progressive. So for running out of gas or changing a tire. The problem with my daughter is she didn't have a tire to change to. So I had
That's always the case.
What's that?
That's always the case. It seems like every time I've had to change a tire, it had like 20 pounds of air in it or something.
Yeah, no, she blew her tire about 6 months ago. So we had changed to her spare, and her old one was still in my yard over here, leaned up against a tree.
I remember that story actually from the first time.
Yes, because we had to go to Gainesville at like 8 o'clock at night or whatever in the middle of a CVS parking lot. And
I remember you telling me that story.
Yeah, when I seen her Facebook post and she was all like, oh, look how great my dad is and stuff. I was going to chime in and say, well, if your dad was really great, he wouldn't have let you get a flat tire to begin with.
Yeah, right. But I mean, and not that I wanted the cop to help her change the tire, because he couldn't have helped her. Yeah. But not to even check when somebody's sitting there with their hazards on, not to even slow down and check on somebody.
And what maybe you don't want to say, what road was that on?
I-10.
Was it on I-10? And they do they not have the road rangers?
No, that's on toll roads, man.
Is it only on toll roads?
Yeah, because the toll road system pays for them to go clear cars out. So they'll actually come and tow you for free to the nearest, station.
I was trying to think if I had seen them on 75.
Now, there are in different states, there are different companies that do it, that they'll run up and down.
Yeah.
With their name and numbers on their trucks, and they will stop and help. But the ones on the toll road are paid for by the toll road.
They're paid for by State Farm on the Turnpike.
Okay, whatever. But I know that I have been with somebody and had to be pulled on the Turnpike, and it didn't cost them anything to get towed by them to the service plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember many, many years ago breaking down on the turnpike, and a guy I knew ran a towing service, so he sent one of his trucks out to get me, and the driver said to me, this was back in the days of the toll booth when when you got on, they gave you the ticket, and then when you got off, depending on where you got off, on how much you paid, and the guy's like, well, the good news is you don't have to pay the toll, and I'm like, no, I got to pay like 400 times more for the tow truck.
Right.
I'd rather pay the toll.
Yeah, I would have paid the toll. Yeah, absolutely. Chris, it looks like you got it printing, so something worked.
Yeah, what time is it? So it's 4:42 my time. So let's see. 6 hours yesterday. So we've got, well, give or take a few. Let's call it, I don't know, 6.5 probably total today. So almost, let's just call it 13 hours, and I'm finally printing. I finally found a configuration that I could make work.
All right. Now the question is it quiet? Is it printing well?
It is very quiet, and it just finished the first layer, and the fans and everything seem to be working. So we'll see what it turns out like.
Yeah, I don't hear it making any noise.
No, it's real quiet.
And it's all linear rail?
Yep. Well, it's not, well, yes, it's all linear rails, but it still has, it's not built on the Z. It's still a lead screw on the Z, but
it's a belt-driven lead screw, though, right?
Yes, it's 2 lead screws combined into one motor with a belt.
I got you. Now, is there any advantage to that other than just having to have the one motor?
Sync.
Yeah, I mean, it was synchronized wise. I mean, you would never have to once you had it set correctly, you wouldn't have to worry about it, becoming unsynced left and right. So that would be somewhat of an advantage.
Cool.
Yes, thank you, Mad Mike. This is probably the second or third, probably the third longest build I've ever done. That FT6 took what, like 3 full nights. That was huge. And that Delta, I put 13 hours in a Delta once. So yeah.
Could be worse. It could be like the Tivo Little Monster back here.
Yeah, you're really the only marathon guy I know. I don't know how many hours you had on that. But
well, I know I had 2 streams that were over 12 hours, and the one was 15.
Yeah. See, I haven't even touched that.
Yeah, but I think my longest was my A8, which was like a little over 10 hours, but it was because I was filming the whole thing.
Yeah. And
not live stream, like filming it.
Yeah, no, I won't do that again. That's just that. I would be like you. I'd be like, okay, we're going to do 6 hours today or 5 hours today and whatever.
Yeah.
Well, it's better that way. I mean, when you do a 15-hour stream, it's hard to get anybody to sit through 15 hours.
Yeah.
People have lives. I don't understand that, but
I don't know how much. I consider Joe Casher one of the best builders, probably. I mean, he's fast. He can really build.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of time in that tool changer. So I don't know what that thing's going to be like.
I can imagine, man. I mean, because it's basically I ain't gonna say it's basic because it doesn't have 3 lead screws. It's only 2, right?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'm not exactly sure what the final configuration is on it.
But I mean, it's basically a rail core with 4 print heads on it.
Yeah, basically.
So I can imagine what it is.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh,
well, the wiring and everything.
Lester wants to know what printer that is.
Yeah, this is an SK Go. It's proprietary. I mean, they build like 2 different printers. It's basically one guy in Taiwan that makes these machines. They're around $500.
So back to like we asked about the tool changer. Initial thoughts: is it worth $500?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're at $500. The hardware they give you with this machine, all day. I'm not sure. I mean, they're cheaper linear rails. But with all the options that he sent me at $500, the profit margin, even though he's in Taiwan sourcing stuff from China, profit margin is probably pretty low, and he's not building these in the thousands. I think he's building like 100 at a time. So, yeah, there's definitely $500 of the value here.
And I didn't get to watch all of your live streams. I mean, all the parts were there. You didn't have to like.
There were a couple discrepancies between this kit and what he's doing now. Like one belt was just a touch short, but it was just you reprinted a part and that would fix it.
I got you.
And he had one hole out of place for the bed mount. It was in the wrong location. But all of it was the Z-stop mount. You needed a different printed part for that. But most of it was all stuff that he knew and told me about ahead of time. So,
right. What kind of guides does it use for the print bed, Chris?
Guides for the print bed?
Yeah, because you normally have the Z screw and then a couple of rods. What is it using for guides? Is it?
Yeah, so it's linear. It's got a linear rail down each side in this center portion.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's just got two L brackets the bed's sitting on.
I got you. Okay, all right. Yeah, that's what Steven was asking. Didn't have linear rails for the Z.
Oh, yep. Yeah, I saw it earlier. He said if it had duet, you would have been done a lot faster. Could have been, Yeah. Then I'd have to remember how duet works.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm not even looking forward to getting off here. I got to rush over, eat supper before we have to then go to my daughter's and build gingerbread houses.
Again?
Yeah, we went to my sister-in-law's and did the competition, but my daughter called today and asked, did we want to come build a gingerbread house with her and my grandson and all that? And I'm like, sure, why not?
That funny you say that. I get the Instructables rundown every day in my email. And one of the Instructables was build a gingerbread house 3D printer. So it was a gingerbread house that was shaped like a 3D printer.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny. They had icing for the filament coming out of the extruder and stuff.
Yeah, somebody there was pictures on Twitter. Somebody did one. They 3D printed. No, it wasn't a printer. Oh yeah, it was a printer. They 3D printed cookie cutters to make a gingerbread i3. I don't know if it was I think it was supposed to be a Prussian knockoff. I can't remember.
Wow.
It was at least yesterday, so I can't remember back that far.
That's right. The chat wants to know if you're building a NAS, Glenn, or are you just harvesting parts?
No, these are. So I have a Ubuntu server that I run here in my house that feeds my Plex, and it's also my Minecraft server. And I used to have an external NAS, but it got hit by lightning when all that happened. So this is technically the replacement for that. I just decided to put a series of drives into my Linux box, and then I'm going to set it up. I bought a controller, not a RAID controller, just a regular controller, and I'm going to set it up with software RAID.
Cool.
Chris, you would be disappointed in me.
What happened?
Now, I showed you that computer I built, right? The ratty case thing that I built.
Yeah.
Did I show you that? I bought a case for it.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, I needed some front USB ports and some other niceties and stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I could buy this front USB thing and try to figure out how to zip tie it on here or something. But it was just cheaper just to buy a case with it already in it. I mean,
It would have been so good though.
I know, but I bought the case for $26, man.
Man, cases are so cheap now.
I know. And I mean, I read the reviews and they're like, it's thin metal. I'm like, what do you expect for $26?
Well, see, back in the day, that what determined a good case from a cheap one was the cheap ones would cut you if you pulled your hand out of it too fast. Like if you took your hand.
I'm pretty sure this one would cut you if you pulled your hand out of it too fast.
The good one all had rolled edges on it.
Yeah.
Right.
All the ones that I could afford were razor sharp inside. So.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
the cases that I use are rack mount by Rosewill, and
Yep.
this is their hot swap bay, which the regular bay pulls right out and the hot swap bay goes in its place. So you can buy the server case with 3 of these already in it, but at the time they weren't available. So I bought the other ones, and now I just bought so I'll have hot swappable drive bays that
Steven,
I never need.
Chris Steven said he watched your video to do his duet build, and
Yeah.
it worked great. You should watch your own video.
Yep. I do that all the time.
I'm sure you do.
Yes. There a lot of things, like if they're not working, like I don't remember, so I will go back and watch them quite often.
Chris is like, I know there's some dummy that's done a video on it. Wait, let me go find him. Oh yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah. A lot of times if I'm working on something, I will punch that into YouTube and it's just my video that shows up.
And then you think to yourself, man, I hope I knew what I was doing when I made this.
Well,
That just lets you know you're doing some obscure stuff.
yeah.
If you're the only one doing it.
I figured it out once. I guess I got to figure it out again.
Right?
But really, I mean, when I was doing the cloud stuff a long time ago, that's why I did the videos, because it was just easier than taking notes.
Yeah.
You know, I could just walk through the process of the video and I didn't have to remember it. I could just go back and watch that later.
Sean talking about the gaming cases, yeah, and they are, man, with the glass side and all that, you can see everything. But the ratty one that I built, you could see everything inside of it anyway, because I was missing a side panel and the front. I had the hard drive mount zip tied to the front of the case so that I could hold my hard drives in there. I had the power supply. I had to pull it out and move it around so I could get the hard drives in there. So it was just zip tied to the front of the case. It had sit on my back porch forever.
I had a case that I was absolutely in love with. It was an Antec case. It was the GT500, big case, but it was an AT case.
Yeah.
And when ATX came about, I couldn't afford to buy that case again. So I got in there with a Dremel and made that thing from an AT to an ATX. I mean, I just hacked the crap out of it and made a plate to mount the power supply to it. And I still have that case to this day. But
yeah.
I ended up eventually getting the ATX version of it. But yeah, that case was a beast. Super heavy, super heavy. But it was like this wide, even though it was only a single motherboard case, but it was huge.
Y'all excuse the movement, but this is what Sean Gould was talking about. Yeah, this is the one I'm using down here. So yeah, it's got LEDs and a nice pretty glass case and all that stuff. But I will tell you this. The one I run my Plex and stuff on though is it's the FX 6350 that I used to run in here. And it runs Plex and all that perfectly. But it sucks at streaming. I tried streaming from over there on that PC and it just sucks at streaming. This one's so much better. Somebody said it earlier that I was clear tonight, and it is. It's because of this computer.
Oh yeah. Your video is tremendously better than what it used.
It looks really good.
Yeah, and it's all based on computational power. It really is. Using the RX 570s and the video cards and all that were sent me, that helped, but the CPU couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And I know some people say, well, I stream off of here and stream off. Well, okay, you've got a lot better internet than I do, and you can do different things. So,
well, when I first moved to this spot and I was trying to not have to stream off my laptop, I have a Dell. It's a Dell high-end workstation from way back when, but I was running Windows 10 on it, and it wouldn't run OBS where the
right.
And then I blew it out and put Linux on it and ran the OBS on there. It ran fantastically.
Right.
So that just shows you how much overhead that Windows truly has.
Stephen, yes, I do. I do have a BL Touch on my TiVo, on my little monster.
It just sets on top, though. It's not actually hooked up.
Yeah. Actually, mine points out to the side, man.
Yeah, out.
Yeah, mine's out this way.
You just flick it when you think it's the right height.
Yeah, when I think it's the right height, I just thump it. And it goes right in. Oh, this is great, man. I love these shows. I know Chris is tired of friggin' streaming.
Yeah, but he did that to himself.
He did.
Yeah, I'm just glad this thing is printing, and
He knew the stream was coming.
I asked him this morning, was he just a glutton for punishment, making up for all the time he missed?
pretty much.
No, he walked in. His wife said, "Who the heck are you? Get back in that basement."
She was supposed to go to something today, but they called it off because of the snow. So she's probably going stir crazy up there.
I bet she is. Now, Chris, you weren't here. I didn't tell you. And my daughter, who lives in Arizona, her husband got his new orders, and in July they are moving to Alaska.
Whoa!
It doesn't snow there.
So, and we've been watching. There's a couple that lives there in the town where they'll be at. Actually, in North Pole, Alaska is right outside of where they'll be. And during the winter, it's -60 actual temperature.
Wow.
Yeah,
But it's a dry -60.
I don't even want to hear
that
the word.
works there.
I don't care nothing about that. But I told my wife, I said, "Look, we can drive to Arizona. We're not driving to friggin' Alaska. It's a 79-hour one-way drive
Whoa.
Holy cow.
to where they're at." I'm like, I am not driving.
Yeah,
Not-
no,
not
absolutely.
even remotely.
No, that does not seem like any fun.
Well, I mean, you think about it. We got to leave here, go all the way up through Washington State, over across Canada, and then all the way into the interior of Alaska. It's a long way. It's a friggin' long way.
Carl said, fun fact, there are no flies in Alaska.
That's not true. The mosquitoes will eat you up.
He said flies.
Oh, flies. Okay, mosquitoes are fly.
No, flies are flies.
Okay,
That's why they call them flies.
what kind of fly?
Flies.
A blowfly?
He said no flies at all. It's a
Oh,
no-fly zone.
oh. As long as there ain't no sand gnats, I can handle it.
Fishing flies?
Fishing flies? Glenn, do y'all have sand gnats down there, or just like gnats?
Gnats.
Okay, because sand gnats bite.
Yeah, no, ours don't bite. They're
Yeah,
just
see,
really annoying.
Come up here. Come up here in the summertime. You'll look like you have the measles in about 5 minutes. You laugh, Chris. I mean, you walk in places, and Glenn, I know you've seen gnat swarms where it looks, it's just this big black blob that's floating around. You've seen it. We have that with sand gnats, and they bite.
Wow.
No, it like when I was building the house and stuff, it's usually into the evening time when I was out building the house, and the gnats were so bad. And, like people give you tips like, oh, like wipe yourself down with a dryer sheet. That doesn't work. I don't know.
That does help for sand gnats. They won't bite you if you have a dryer sheet on your face. Like if you put it in your hat.
That's what I did. I put them in my hat, but the regular gnats were still
The
getting
regular gnats will still land on you, but sand gnats won't. They won't.
Yeah, and then one guy told me mist your face with gasoline, and I tried that. No, just kidding.
Now, I will tell you this: in sand gnats, Skin So Soft works for about 30 minutes, but that's it. I mean, that is completely it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got to get off here. So it's 6 o'clock. We want to do our outros and
Do it, man.
Yep, go for it, Walter.
all right, bye, guys. And I'm hitting the lead. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D. If you're not subscribed, go down there and subscribe to us. This is the last time we will be doing Fun in the Country Basements until January the 12th of 2020. Man, that is so weird to say. I don't know about you guys, but that is so weird to say.
Seems kind of weird.
20. It is 2020. I mean, that is just crazy to think about. But anyway, that's me. Y'all can find me everywhere at Kuntry 3D. Go, old man.
And that's me. Oh, wait, no. Man, you set me up there. I am Glenn from Fun King 3D. We are a father and son team that does electronics and 3D printing projects once in a while. I just posted a link into the chat. That would be Peg Leg Paul. He will be streaming in 30 minutes if you want to go in and give him a hard time. That's always a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot coming up. And again, we won't be back until 2020. I will have MakerBox videos out in the meantime. And of course, Xander's thing Thursday will still run. So, but other than that, I'll give you my usual. We thank you guys, each and every one of you, for tuning into these fantastic streams that we do on Sunday, because without you, they would be absolutely useless. And we'd look silly just sitting around talking to nobody. You guys keep the conversations moving, and we love your input and for the most part, your humor for some of you. The rest of you, and I think you know who you are. But seriously, no, we do thank you. We love each and every one of you, and we appreciate you guys being here. So, more printing videos next year? Maybe. I will work on that. Oh, I can't. I picked up a new subscriber, but I can't read the name because it's tiny. All right, go ahead, Chris. I'll try to pull that name so I can see who that was.
All right, so this has been a long weekend. It's been a long day. I was back for Fun in the Country Basement one time before we take a break until 2020. Before I forget, because I will probably forget this, but happy birthday, Glenn. I know that's coming up for you soon. I probably won't talk to you until then, but
That's right. 57 is coming up soon for him.
yeah. Absolutely. But always a good time. Thank you for everybody that hung out this weekend. This has been a long weekend of streaming, but we did get it done. It's printing. Now, there's going to be quite a bit of tweaking left to do and all that good stuff, but it does work, and it looks to be a pretty nice machine. So thanks for the support along the way. As always, funcountrybasement.com. Glenn will be hosting the next time that we are on, so be looking out for that. I'll update you on the tweets and whatnot. Chris Riley 3D. And I will probably be back before Fun in the Country Basement starts again with another stream, because I'm not going to be able to hold on to this tool changer very long. I got to build it. So I'll be back soon. If I don't talk to you before then, happy holidays. Everybody enjoy, hopefully, some time off, and we will see you soon. Fellas, anything else?
No, it was, I'm going to probably butcher his name, but Nadav Maver has subscribed, so thank you so much for that subscription. It pads my ego. So thanks for the birthday wishes, guys.
All right.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Print on.